here today with the Focus, and we're going to do some motor mounts on it. And yeah, I'm going to bring you along with me and just kind of go along the way with this whole doing it. We're getting pretty close to getting it done, so I think we're going to do the motor mounts, and that's probably about it. And there's some like trim pieces and some other little minor things. And I know in the last video, I'll insert a clip here, but this little ground wire we had an issue with. I know I mentioned it in the last video, but this is not allowing the car to run right. So we're going to figure it out and kind of see what's going on through there. So that's going to be what this is all about as far as the motor mounts go, because, you know, after this, the car's going to run great. And so we're going to try to figure that ground out. It's a ground, but when I ground it, we pop fuses down there. So I don't want to keep going through fuses. So we're going to see where this takes us. We have some motor mounts right here. These were all of $37 on eBay. So we have the trans mount right here, the torque mount. Then we have the right motor mount for the driver's side, and we have, this one's all wrapped up. The left side, this is the main culprit right here. I believe this is fluid filled as well. So this is, as soon as we replace this one, the car's gonna ride way better, but we actually got a 3-for-1 deal essentially. I don't know how good the quality is, but I can imagine it's gonna be a hell of a lot better than what we have right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap these in there. So I really don't know how it's gonna translate over here, but you can at least try to tell or hear. This thing vibrates like crazy. It's not enjoyable at all, really, to idle, and I mean, it rattles your teeth out. So it needed to be done. And once you do it, these are actually really smooth. So we'll see if we can see the rattling here. You hear all the rattles in the interior. The mirror is rattling like crazy too. So you get the point. All this rattles up here, so we got the coolant bottle out of the way. That's what we got to do. That's literally all you do to get to the engine bolts. So, man, that's some good stuff going over at the high school. But anyways, so yeah, there's about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 bolts we got to get out here to get the mount out, which looks pretty bad anyhow. So you just poke right through it. I mean, it's gone. So in typical Focus fashion. It's looking like the motor mount we took out here is one whole piece. The one that we have is just a lot smaller. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure this out. Maybe there's a way I can get it to fit on this old bracket, but if that's the case, we might be having to order a whole new part, and that $37 is probably gonna turn close to another 80 or so. Now that's why it was so cheap. That makes sense, but I would have just rather have paid for the whole piece, honestly. But yeah, we'll go try to see what we can do here. What we have here is a brand new, fully assembled motor mount. As you could see in the last little thing there, the company that I had bought these from was a little misleading. I wasn't totally unaware I had to transfer a motor mount. So I struggled and I struggled. And this is the new motor mount. As you can see, these little clamps right here are actually really holding it in place, so it can't move. And the motor mount that I tried to install, I tried everything, because trust me, I did not want to spend the money on this part, but it just was too shady, and it wouldn't have worked. So as you can see, these clamps don't sit right, and it rocks back and forth. So as you can see, we're probably, if I were to put this in the car, it'd probably actually be a lot worse than the old one. So in this case, I had to go spend $100 on this new motor mount, and I believe it's hydraulic filled as well. So yeah, here we are, a new motor mount. What we can do here is quite literally throw it in there, but since I had to splurge on this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down this so I have at least something to look at. It'll at least go a little bit nicer once we get the engine all figured out, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wipe it down. Wow, it's gone. The vibration is gone. Now we are over to the driver's side motor mount, and right there, you can see it is all the way through. Right there. So we're gonna go ahead and support the engine like we did the other side and pop the other one in, because at least those two motor mounts will work. This one and the lower torque mount. So already, I mean, the car feels like a brand new car. So, but we have the parts, we paid for them. We're gonna throw that one in, and we might throw the one down there. And I know that one might be a little tricky, but yeah, that's awesome. Now we have to meet the final boss right here in the center. That looks like I'd say probably a 20 at least. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that one off. I totally forgot about that one. It looked like it blended right in. It was a 21. Okay. These are super tight. I killed the battery on the torque gun or the impact gun. Either one. Trying to get these off, so it's over there charging. There we go. Should pop right out, just like so. So, as you can see right there, it's see-through. So, it's done. It was about time. So, you can see the new part right there. Obviously, looks a lot nicer. Go ahead and throw it on. I'm not even gonna bother cleaning any of this. It's just never gonna be seen again, so I could care less. So we're gonna repeat the process. So we finally figured out what the vital piece of information was that was causing the focus not to run properly. When we did the valve cover gasket, somehow or another, between pushing all these wires out of the way, this little module, whatever you want to call this, got ripped apart from this wire right here, which is just a ground box, it looks like. But obviously there's something in here that does something to regulate the idle on this thing. So probably gonna have to go get a new one of these, or because it's really gonna be hard to connect it right there. As you can see, we kind of ripped it right out from the base, so we're kind of just SOL. But no worries, we're going to the junkyard, and maybe we can try to finagle this off. But looks like we're gonna have to replace this whole entire unit, which that's no big deal. Thank God we found the issue, because the car is running perfect. It just, we cannot go over 20 miles an hour. It cuts right off. And so it kind of left me with one of two things. Was it the airbox that we did? Because a lot of people do this mod. So if they had issues, I thought it maybe could have been the mass airflow, but that is good. It's this over here. So we're gonna go ahead and get some stuff from the junkyard today. Really haven't got a great look at the Ford section in a while either, but it looks like we have exactly what we need here. So, some 12, 13 Focus, 13 Fiesta. I don't see these too often. I think this has been here for like the past 6 years. Right back to that S2 we were playing with. Every once in a while I get lucky and find with leather interior, but they're always blasted. Just kind of like this one. So here is what we need right here. I'm going to try to get one off probably one that's not rusty. So I totally found a Canadian spec Focus that my 17-year-old self would have been thrilled at. I have been searching all my life for a Focus back seat like this with the rear headrest. They are in mint condition. I have no use for them now at this point in my life, but wow, these things are beautiful. I just needed to showcase this. These are beautiful. This is a very mint condition wagon, and the seat up front's worn out. Otherwise, I'd consider taking it, but oh my God, this is a fully loaded wagon. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. And it's always a blast in this place. You can always find what you need. Most of the time, I'd say 98% of the time you can find what you need. So these trucks have been sitting here since I could drive. All of these. So, yeah, a little windy today. That fall weather. All right, so we got exactly what we needed at the junkyard, maybe a little more than I needed, but all of this for 20 bucks. So we got some Sony speakers, some factory Ford Sony speakers out of that Focus. And they are a little more upgraded than the stock ones that we have. So we have the old paper ones right here that are, you know, they're all paper and old. But the Sony ones are actually plastic, so they held up a lot better and they are all intact, I made sure. And they even have a little bit of sound dampener foam that this one doesn't. So hopefully we'll get maybe a little bit better sound, and the watts are higher, so they're going to sound better and they're not going to distort like the old ones. We also got exactly what we needed for as far as the mechanics go. We got the little ground wire with the resistor. And I got a gauge cluster out of an ST as well there. So as you can see right there, that's going to look a lot better with some silver backing compared to the regular black. Just going to tie it off a little bit better. I've always liked this surround, and what better opportunity than now. And I also, while I was at it, they had little Sony things that were in the door panels with the other Focus. They go right in there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue those in because, well, we technically have Sony speakers, so we're allowed to do it. So just some more aesthetically pleasing mods that we will hopefully get this thing up and running. So here we go. So I'm finally getting the culprit, which we do suspect is the issue, which was this little resistor box right here. Nothing's torn, everything's put back together. I had to do a little bit of just butt connecting right there, but it's all buttoned up. Hopefully we'll start it up and the car is actually going to idle, right? If that's not the case, I'm guessing it's this mass airflow sensor. There's something going on with this box we made. So, and when doing that, we also kind of skipped a step with showing you. But I had a good friend of mine, he had some Recaro seats laying around for a Focus. So I ended up putting them in this car. As I said, the supports on these seats were, as you can see, there's like a metal, it sticks you in your back when you drive. It fell off the back. So anyhow, we do have some Recaro seats now from an SVT Focus. They're a little worn out, but honestly, these are so comfortable. And it makes the driving a Focus a lot nicer. Also took the dinger out down there. There's a little box you gotta kind of get out, but took that apart, took the dinger out just because these dingers are obnoxious. So no more of that garbage. See if the car will idle. Okay, so it's not idling right. So I did replace the ground, but I'm thinking that it's probably this mass airflow because this has all been replaced. So unfortunately, it looks like I'm gonna have to probably go get another stock box and just live with the old filter in there. We tried it, but there's something going on here with this mass airflow. So So I have literally no idea how I messed this up, but the mass airflow sensor was turned around. It was facing the wrong way. So I'll explain once we get back, but going full throttle, I mean, car doesn't cut out or nothing. Just back from the test drive there. I don't know if you guys heard in the last clip, somebody said, hey, when I was giving it a full throttle run. So I went back to see if he wanted to talk, and he turned right around as soon as I offered to go talk to him. So anyhow, nobody's around. We're in the middle of the night here. Figured I could just do a wide open run. Pawpaw is outside smoking a cigarette. Anyways, so the car runs great. What ended up happening, I have no idea, because everything I've seen online and how people have done it was exactly how I did it. The mass airflow sensor needed to be turned around, but unfortunately, there's no way to really get it to fit in the hole like this. So I'm gonna have to figure out something. I think I can make a solution out of it. I'll figure out something here real fast and I'll get back with you, but I don't wanna go buy any more parts for this, and I really just wanna wrap this up on the car here. So the car rode great, as you saw, so it doesn't cut out. I'm gonna suspect that's our issue because we want the air to go through that little spot right there. So we're gonna go ahead and try to figure it out. Just did quite a bit of MacGyving right there. This definitely isn't one of my proudest moments in working on a car, but I do have to say, if it works, it works. Obviously those don't line up, but I got the gasket to sit flush around there by putting two little kind of self-tapper bolts there. So, you know, we will see if this comes back to bite me, but everything's sealed off and it seems to work. So we'll go start it up. Make sure I didn't like drum to the sensor. But I think we figured our culprit out. See if it stalls. It's never sounded this good or idled like this since we had this little issue. So I definitely say that's an A in my book. It looks kind of ghetto and tacky, but it works. It quite literally works. So that's honestly a win for me. Turn this back down here. So I look at my ugly work there, but it works. So let's go take it for a spin now. That's what we've been waiting for. I literally haven't really driven this car, so I've probably put maybe 4 miles on it since I've owned it. I definitely think we fixed the problem. Overdrive, got overdrive to work right there. Heat works. It's the intake though. It's not all as loud as I thought it would be, but that's no big deal. There's our problem, guys. It's fixed. So, feel a little bit better about everything now and get everything tied up and put back together. So we are back finally with the last piece of the puzzle with this video. We're gonna end it here with the silver gauge cluster in the background. We ended up taking the thing off. It was super easy to do, and I slapped it in there and it looks very nice on the eyes. It kind of contrasts with the radio bezel. So all in all, the focus is pretty much done. A few other little things to come, but little idea of what it's all about, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you all later.